Hello, Michelle. What can we do for you?
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Super. How about you, hon?
Oh, pretty good.
Arnie.
Hey, I just wanted to thank you guys because you guys are just awesome. Until this morning, I have not heard anybody say that maybe he didn't do it except for myself, and I have been almost embarrassed and ashamed to admit it, but since the get-go, for some reason, I just don't think this guy did it. Does that make me a horrible person?
No, it's your own personal opinion.
I mean, look at the whole Elizabeth Smart thing. I mean, were those people cult freaks, you know? I mean, anybody can just be driving along and just do freak things. You just don't know.
Well, Michelle, I think the first thing, does it make you a horrible person? I think everybody needs to be reminded that despite of the world we live in, where it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, and nothing has proven Scott Peterson guilty at all. I think you're probably in the minority of the people who haven't convicted the guy yet.
And you haven't given in to the way most of society is. Appearances are everything to everybody, and all you got to do is just appear to be someone who's guilty, and you are.
Oh, sure. I mean, definitely, I agree. But I don't know. But then all this, a lot of stuff points to the fact that he did it, but I just have this gut feeling, I don't know why, that he did not do it. And until you guys reported what you did this morning, I feel a lot better about the way I feel about it now. I just wanted to tell you thank you.
Thank you.
I have the same feelings, honestly, that you are innocent in this country until proven guilty. And this case is very hard for me to look at and keep that judgment the same that he is in. And now hearing about this satanic cult, totally innocent. Totally innocent.
And I think that's one of the reasons you're not hearing a lot about these doubts. I noticed the couple of the news channels, the way they're reporting that this morning is Modesto police are searching the bay again, and they won't say what evidence they're looking for. Okay, now that's different than the report I read, which from defense sources is because they're desperate to find anything to help their case. I think one of the reasons you're not hearing the "hey, Scott Peterson could be innocent" angle is A, the public opinion thing has gone so far over the edge, and B, because the satanic cult theory is a little out there. And I think a lot of the mainstream press might be going, really? Like kind of what Arnie's doing. Really, satanic cult. And maybe they want to wait before they start to plant those seeds. I don't know.
Isn't that interesting, though? Because you come out with the satanic cult thing, it's like, oh my gosh. But you just say, this is all that had to be said. Nothing else. And I know you remember. He went to fish on Christmas Eve. Oh, that's it. He's guilty.
You're right.
That's all a lot of people had to hear. Nothing else they needed.
Because he's a terrible husband. Who would go fishing on Christmas Eve with an 8-month-old or with an 8-month pregnant wife?
You know what? And maybe to some people that's a terrible husband. But since when does a terrible husband equal murderer? There's a lot of bad husbands that don't kill their wives.
All right. He's prompt. Peter Jennings, as promised, is on the line. Peter Jennings from ABC News. We're privileged to have him join us. Good morning, Mr. Jennings. Are you in New York? Is that where you're calling us from?
No, I'm in satanic San Francisco.
Have you seen the
But I'm looking forward to coming to ever moderate and cautious Sacramento.
What are you doing in San Francisco, Peter?
The same thing I was doing in Sacramento, but I wanted to warm up with the liberals down here. We had a town hall meeting at KGO last night, and now we feel brave enough to enter the territory.
I cannot believe he's on the phone.
Yeah, you're going to be here technically tomorrow for the town hall meeting in Sacramento. Now, was your theme in San Francisco the same as it's going to be here, which is California's a mess and we have the worst governor of all time?
No, here the theme was the country, the war, national ideology. Why don't we love each other more? This is, after all, San Francisco.
Did you burn any bras?
And tomorrow it
last
will be, why don't we love each other more? It's Gray Davis's fault.
Right. Okay. What is the reason for you doing this? I mean, you're a pretty important guy, in case you haven't heard. How come you're traveling around doing this stuff?
Because for me, on a serious note, it's the best way to listen to the country. I've done these town hall meetings for a long, long time. You go somewhere, the local station gets together, if we're lucky, gets together a really good list of people from the neighborhood, and I have the chance to moderate a discussion about whatever happens to be on their mind. And for an editor, because that's what really I am on a daily basis, for an editor to get as far away as he can from New York and Washington, that is just, tonic. And it's great. I look forward to it.
So do you like the West Coast, Peter? I mean, you've been in New York forever.
Like the West Coast is almost not a strong enough phrase. When I come here, I'm very struck about how far it is from the East Coast, and I mean intellectually from Washington, for example.
Oh, you don't mean like 3,000 miles? Yeah, okay, we got it.
What do you want me to do? Do an advertisement for Humboldt County?
So, okay, let's go national then. World news tonight, ABC News, Peter Jennings. What's the biggest news story right now?
Oh, I think the Bush administration's struggle with post-war Iraq and with Al-Qaeda, if it really is Al-Qaeda, and an economy that is soft in the middle and may come up to cause him the same distress, if not stress, in this election as an economy once upon a time cost his dad.
Can he lose like his father did, do you think?
Sure they can. We're a huge long time away from the election, and the old cliche, 2 weeks is a long time in politics.
Yeah.
Now, you'd have to argue at the moment, I think, that of the 7 or 9 Democrats who've managed to come out from behind the tree at this point, there doesn't look like a clear runaway character, so let's see what the Democrats do with themselves.
Is there really a huge difference, the East-West Coast thing with how we all feel and think about the war and even 9/11? And because I'll watch silly shows, I hate to admit this, but like Blind Date or a dating story or whatever, and always on the East Coast they are so patriotic. There are like flags
we're
everywhere.
Very politically correct in the East Coast. We don't think of it as Blind Date. We just think of it as seeing impaired.
But do you notice that in your travels, Peter?
Yeah, I do a lot. I do. I remember coming out after 9/11. The first place I went after 9/11 to do a town meeting a couple months after was, in fact, to San Francisco. And I was struck because New York City lives with 9/11 today on an almost daily basis, both in economic and emotional terms. Washington, something of the same. And I came to California, and I found that, if you've given people a list of 1 to 10, already the economy was the great issue here. I went to Dallas after that. They were way ahead of San Francisco in terms of moving on. And in overall terms, what I find in the wake of this war, which is, of course, still going on, I find almost wherever I go that a lot of that extraordinary goodwill and unity that we felt after 9/11 has gone away.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you a question, Peter. Whatever happened to the...
you don't need my permission. You can just ask it right out.
Whatever happened to the anthrax story? It was so big for a certain amount of time, and then all of a sudden, nothing. We don't have anybody who sent the packages. We don't hear anything about it. Whatever happened to that?
Well, you will recall that there was a man. I'm embarrassed to say I've forgotten his name. Who the FBI believed it had very much in focus in Maryland for a long period of time, and I cannot tell you the status of that investigation. We've just had some recent anthrax news over the last several weeks about the quality of the powder that got into the Washington political establishment and into the Senate and the potency of that. But I'm embarrassed to say I cannot tell you the status of the investigation at the moment.
And doesn't that seem odd to you?
No. In fact, not to be too skeptical about it, I think people are a little surprised some days when the FBI does solve something. Because this is an agency which is hugely overburdened and is trying to, work here and in Saudi Arabia and Morocco. And I don't mean that as a criticism. I mean it as a reality. It is a tremendous burden which the FBI, and for that matter the CIA, has carried since 9/11, and it has been a real struggle for an agency that is culturally very different than the rest of government. And the advent of Homeland Security has just made it, quite frankly, in some respects, more complicated rather than simpler.
Peter, you mentioned earlier, too, the post-9/11 apathy and the difference in geography and such. And, we do a show that we could talk about. We were just talking about the Lacey Peterson case, and in 10 minutes...
You were talking about Lacey Peterson?
I know.
Oh, interesting.
And in 10 minutes we could be talking about bodily functions. You just never know, Peter. But, when 9/11...
My guess is Lacey Peterson is where you'll be.
Yeah, for a while. But, we obviously 9/11, we talked about that with a war in Iraq. We covered that extensively. But it seems from our standpoint... for example, there was a terrorist attack in Saudi Arabia. You mentioned Morocco. There's Americans dead. It really seems like not a lot of people in America are really paying attention or caring. Are we misperceiving that, or is that the impression you get?
Well, let me add one to your list, by the way. There's another threat alert in Washington this morning from Homeland Security about the possibility. I don't know where that comes from. I think the hardest thing for us, by the way, on a daily basis is to understand all these threats.
Yeah.
And the hardest thing for local law enforcement is, I'm sure anybody in Sacramento will tell you, the FBI said to us, we're going to raise alert or lower the alert again. Geez, we're doing everything we can anyway. So that's a terrific burden on police departments. I don't think we know what to think, except that I think that people who are halfway intelligent should understand maybe it's pretty likely we're going to get attacked again in some way, shape, or form. We don't know where, we don't know when. That's the whole nature of terrorism. And I talk to our specialists in our investigative team every day, yesterday being a good example, when Brian Ross reported from London that there were a new selection of routes coming through Turkey and into Western Europe. Like, how do we know this, Brian? You know, and so we farm consultants and experts in intelligence agencies, you know, here and around the world all the time. But we all recognize we're on very uncertain ground a lot of the time and are never quite sure, I think, precisely what we know.
In your work, in your atmosphere at work, has it changed significantly? You know, I mean,
No.
Okay.
No, we had anthrax in the office, as you may or may not recall.
Right.
The child of one of our producers, and so
that's right.
You know, we got the full treatment from the FBI and the Centers for Disease Control, and they were all terrific and very efficient. And to be honest, we all went back to work very quickly. I don't think journalists are fatalists any more than anybody else are, but if you make your profession, you make your craft, if you will, or make your living partly on tragedy in the human condition.
And Peter, do you ever? I mean, you've been doing this forever. Do you ever get tired of all of the bad news? I mean, we all know bad news is what leads the news usually. I mean, do you ever just go home and go, oh, God, more of this?
No, but wait till you hear what I say when I get off this phone call. No, listen, I like good news. I like things like, one of the reasons I'm looking forward to this town hall thing in Sacramento is because we're going to talk about education, which I love. I'm really interested in religion and the American condition, and so I do that. I do a lot of documentaries which enable me to drill down somewhat more into my own special interests. I'm in the process of doing one on the history of ecstasy. I've never been bored for, I don't know, more than a day, I guess, in the damn near 40 years I did this.
Do you have? I'm just curious if you have a family and stuff, and how.
I do. I have a wife. I have 2 kids. One of whom is on his way back to California to farm for the summer. He's in his 3rd year of college. And I have a daughter who has just graduated a year ago from college, and she is now going to go and work in South Africa with AIDS babies.
Oh my gosh!
Now, Peter, during the town hall meeting tomorrow, it's going to be tomorrow afternoon. You're actually going to have Governor Davis with you, I understand.
We are. We understand. Governor Davis and his entourage, of course.
You better have a lot of security on hand. Not a popular guy with us. And News 10 anchor Christina Mendonza will be there as well. Have you met Christina? She's a great girl.
I have not, to be honest. We're also going to have Kevin Johnson, which is nice, and Larry Lee from SacObserver.com, and Rico Aller from the California State Senate. And I think it's going to be interesting because when you look at the budget cuts you're looking at in California, I mean, you know so much better than I do the screaming that goes on almost every subject, but the screaming on education is very loud. So we'll talk about whatever's on folks' minds. But I know that the station wants to give it something of a twist to education.
Yep, and it will be live tomorrow from 4 to 5:30 on News 10. And I would mention that you're going to be on News 10 Good Morning tomorrow as well, but I don't want people to watch you and not listen to us.
Well, I would tell them again, absolutely. We could do both. I mean, having listened to you, I can't even imagine watching television.
By the way, Peter, I know you got to go. Just a couple quick questions. When bad stuff happens, when big news happens, like at 8 in the morning or 9, how do you get to the ABC News studio so quick?
The beginning of the war in Iraq was interesting, or the first bombing in southern Iraq was on the bunkers in south of Baghdad was an example. I had literally just gone home, but I lived 3 blocks from the office for all the obvious reasons, and my neighbors wondered who was that guy running down the street while his wife held his jacket. So I was back in the office pretty darn quick. But yeah, you know what? Sometimes you're really far away from home. But we've got a great team at ABC, and if I'm not there, someone else will be.
Who's nicer, Tom Brokaw or Dan Rather?
I'm sorry, the line is bad.
All right,
Did you mention something about Bill O'Reilly?
We're going to let you go, but thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow with Town Hall News 10, 4 to 5:30. Peter Jennings will be moderating it, and we appreciate you. You're the biggest celebrity we've ever had on this show. Prior to you,
that doesn't say much about your program, does it?
No. Prior to you, it was Rikishi the wrestler. So.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Peter. We appreciate it.
Have a great day.
All right, thank you. Peter Jennings from ABC News.
Dude.
He'll be here tomorrow.
He said, "Damn."
He did. We got him to cuss. That's correct. He'll be in trouble from ABC for that.
Damn.
He's a funny guy.
He is. He's
Damn.
great.
That was great.
That
Very
is.
good. Peter Jennings, thank you so much for joining us.
Rob, Arnie, and Dawn. It's the Rob, Arnie, and Dawn Show.